Good evening, North Dakota and Minnesota. Jim Shaw, Forum Communications columnist, your guest host today. I'm also a longtime television broadcaster. Want to tell you about our show today. The second half of the show will feature a familiar face to many of you, Andrea Larson, longtime television news anchor throughout the state of North Dakota. She just stepped down from her news anchoring job in Fargo. We will talk to her about that. But first, I want to talk about one of the most gruesome and senseless crimes that I have ever seen in my 40 years in this business. It took place last month in Fargo. 14-year-old Jupiter Paulson was skateboarding from her father's house to her mother's house when, out of nowhere, she was attacked by a total stranger. He choked her. He stabbed her 20 times. She died a few days later. It really shocked the entire community, if not the entire state. With us now to talk about this is a man who has been through the worst of the worst. That is Jupiter's father, Robert Paulson. Mr. Paulson, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
First question. Tell us about Jupiter. What kind of person was she?
Well, she was a really great kid. I mean, she's full of love, had a heart of gold. She was the type of person that would give a sweater off of her back just to keep somebody else warm, give flower crowns to little toddlers, little girls. She played a couple instruments. The viola at Cheney is where she learned that instrument, and she pretty much self-taught her with books and stuff for the guitar. She played softball. She was just an all-around good kid. I mean, she always stayed busy. She finally got her first job at 14. You know, a lot of kids don't get that opportunity. You know, so things were looking up for her.
I want to talk about that fateful day, June 4th, when she was attacked. Take us back to June 4th from your eyes, about when you learned what happened and how it went from there, from your perspective.
Well, she was at my place the night previous. You know, I stayed up late. I woke up I stayed up until 4:30 in the morning. Then I was like, I told her, you know, hey, I'm going to go to bed. You know, maybe we can do something later. She told me that she had to work. I said, okay, well, maybe after. You know, I went to bed, and then I get a phone call at, 10:30 in the morning from her mom telling me that, our daughter's been stabbed and I need to get to the hospital. And I just dropped. Like, I brushed my teeth. I didn't even shower. I just brushed my teeth because I'm really adamant on, hygiene. So then I sped to the hospital. I mean, I know the speed limit's like 35, but I think it went 50 all the way. I mean, glad there was no traffic that was really busy or anything. And, I got there and the officers were there waiting in the lobby with her mom. And then we went upstairs and I saw her.
And when you saw her, what was your reaction?
I broke down. Because it's hard. You don't expect to see a child laying there like that. And she heard my voice when I tried to talk to her. Her eyes kept trying to open. But I just told her, just relax and let the doctors do what they do. And, but keep fighting.
The man charged with her murder, Arthur Cawley, a convicted criminal, now in jail, waiting proceedings to go further, legal proceedings to go further in this case. Do you feel that the murder of your daughter was preventable?
Absolutely, I believe it was preventable. Because if you look in his history, he already had a felony on his record. And then his second felony, it was a gun charge, discharging a firearm in a residential area. And, I feel that if the justice system, the court system, as well as the probation system, if he's on supervised probation, why is he out of jail in 27 days? Stayed for discharging a firearm, and that's, your second felony. I'm from California, And, you know, I'm sure there's a bunch of states that are just like this. If you get caught with a firearm and you're already a felon, you're at least spending 2 to 5 years in prison. And I don't understand how 27 days shows that he's even been rehabilitated at all. You know, and the fact that they don't want to, the officers are doing their job on taking these people off the streets. What's going on with the judicial system on letting these people walk with slaps on the wrists over and over and over again? This is a result of what's happened because of their negligence of upholding the law. That's why I feel that it should have been prevented.
Because he should have been in jail at the time and not out on the streets.
Absolutely, sir.
All right, let me ask you, are you angry? And if you are, you have every right to be, but are you angry about how this all transpired?
I'm very angry on how it transpired, because if they would have did their job adequately, none of this would have happened. My daughter would have made it to her mom's, and then she would have made it to work, and then she would have enjoyed her very first paycheck because she got paid that morning on her very first job. So, you know, he robbed that from her as well. He robbed a beautiful child, and you know, the fact that now the justice system wants to do something, it's funny. It's like, well, you could have had him rehabilitated and my daughter would still be here and I wouldn't be in this position. And I'm hoping for a huge change, because, you know, the day that she was attacked, it wasn't just my child, it became everyone's child.
And it did.
Yeah, everyone felt it.
It affected the entire community. And the only other gruesome, senseless crime that I can compare it to in recent years was Savannah Graywin. If you remember her, she was the woman who was pregnant and all of a sudden disappeared and cut that out. That one affected the whole. This was the only one I could think of. This was like, oh my God, how could this happen? How could this happen to anyone, and how could this happen in our community? This is not who we are.
And a child at that.
And a child, you know, just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And there's no logic. What's the motive? Why do you do this? She's just going from one parent's house to another. Why would you attack her? It makes no sense. But let me ask you this. Is there any doubt, I know you've been following it very closely, is there any doubt in your mind that Arthur Cawley is the one who murdered her?
Absolutely. That's the only person that I could, you know, that I mean, they have all of the evidence. They have him in multiple videos across, you know, a couple of blocks, even going into Walmart, changing his clothes. Yeah, I know for a fact that it was him. There's no doubt about it.
And I'm guessing that one of the things that really helped was that sanitation worker who was there and saw him. And so we have an eyewitness right there to the person who allegedly killed the crime. I don't know what the defense would be, but we shall see. But let me ask you this. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but my guess is you have thought about that. If Mr. Cawley is convicted, what kind of sentence do you think he should receive?
Well, wasn't really expecting that question, but in all honesty, like where I come from and the actual heinous part of the crime, I mean, I honestly believe he does deserve the death penalty. He does.
Which we don't have in North Dakota.
I know.
But if so, what you're saying is if we did have it, he should get it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But since we don't have it, then the only one that I'm okay with is life without the possibility of parole.
Right.
I mean, he doesn't deserve to be outside the prison walls.
Right. But just
Period.
to make your case, because I think you were absolutely right in seeking the death penalty in this case. I'm going to compare this to Alfonso Rodriguez and Drew Shadeen. I don't know if you followed that case,
No, I haven't.
but that was a random case. He abducted this young woman from a mall in Grand Forks.
Oh, wow.
And took her out, sexually assaulted, and killed this woman. And he received the death penalty. And the reason he received the death penalty is because they made it a federal case where it is allowed because it took. But to me, And I don't think they could make it a federal case here, but to me, there were so many similarities. If Alfonso Rodriguez received the death penalty for this, then if Arthur Cawley is convicted, he should receive it if it was allowed. That's just me talking.
I think if it is allowed, I would actually be happy with that, only because, I mean, not only is it that you beat a child, a 14-year-old child, for 20 minutes and stabbed her over 25 times, that's a hate crime. It really is. I mean, there's no way around it. I mean, some random person, you beat them that long and then you stab them that many times, and it for also being of different ethnicities, different sexual orientations, you throw all those factors in there. How can you not call it a hate crime? I truly, in my soul, that's a hate crime. I mean, you wouldn't just do that to some random person.
Right.
Drugs or no drugs.
Right. We talked about this earlier in the interview about how this crime shocked and touched the entire community. What has been the reaction that you have received from your coworkers, your friends, your relatives, your total strangers? What kind of reaction have you received from people about this senseless murder of your daughter?
I've been getting a lot of good messages from everybody, you know, showing me their sympathy, telling me how heartbroken that they are about this, and no parent should go through, you know, I've hundreds of those. You know, the fact that, you know, the Liberians, they reached out and we did our candle lighting. You know, that was amazing to show that type of support, the support of, you know, the Pride community as well. Let's see, my coworkers, they all, you know, got together, sent cards, and put together a little fund. They helped out. Very supportive community, and I know I can speak for a bunch of people is they want to see the change as well. You know, the fact that one side is doing their job and the other side is neglecting to uphold their job. Where is their accountability for this type of stuff? Why do they get immunity of this type of stuff? And I think it should change. Maybe if it changes, they will think of it more of, yeah, I don't want to lose my, you know, career or something, or be charged with these crimes as well if I let this person walk with a slap on the wrist. I think they should also have some kind of accountability of this type of stuff, so they would actually take their job more seriously.
Mr. Paulson, I thank you for your time. We are not done with you. We have some very compelling video to show, but right now we have to take a break. When we come back, we will hear more from Robert Paulson, father of Jupiter Paulson, after this short break.
Howdy folks, it's the County Line Cafe. I reckon it's time you're due for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our Hey Boston breakfast homemade soups. Fill your grill at our salad bar, sink your teeth into our famous County Line burger and barbecue ribs. Top it off with spur rattling pie with a calm roll that's sure to put a smile on even the toughest outlaws. Shake the dirt off the boots each night and warm up with the gang. Tell them about it, Stacy.
I can't wait to see you at the County Line.
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing, because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty.
You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more.
Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
1-800-219-1467.
Hi, Hunter Ellis here for Night Hero Binoculars by Atomic Beam. These binoculars let you see anything, even in pitch black darkness. Gotcha.
The secrets are powerful wide-angle atomic beam laser that reveals objects up to 150 yards away, hidden by darkness.
During the day, Night Hero gives you 10 times magnification. And when the sun goes down, press the Night Bright button to see clearly in the dark. Light up garbage-eating critters or spot thieves before they even get close. Call or click now and get Night Hero binoculars for just $39.99. Order right now and you can double it. Plus, get our best-selling atomic beam flashlight. Just pay a separate fee. We'll even ship them to you free. This TV special offer is not available on Amazon. You can get it all, but you have to order now.
Call 1-800-619-1091. That's 1-800-619-1091. Or visit bynighthero.com. That's bynighthero.com. Order now.
Attention! Have you or a loved one suffered from maculopathy, a serious retinal injury, after taking the prescription drug Almiron for interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome? In 2018, a researcher at the Emory School of Medicine linked Almiron, a prescription drug that treats interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome, to maculopathy, which is sight-threatening and can cause an abrupt change of vision. Call Almiron Justice for a free legal consultation.
Please call 800-395-5680.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. This drug remains approved by the FDA. If you or a loved one regularly took Zantac and were later diagnosed with cancer, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Potential cancers include bladder cancer, colon cancer, kidney cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting with your doctor. Discontinuing a prescribed medication without your doctor's advice can result in injury or death.
Call 1-800-230-9210.
Welcome back. We are talking with Robert Paulson. He is the father of Jupiter Paulson, who was brutally murdered last month. And I need to mention that he's also a veteran of the Army and the Navy. I also need to mention that one of the most powerful and touching videos that I have ever seen in my 40 years in the news business involved Jupiter Paulson. And I want to roll that video right now if we can. This video is of the honor walk of Jupiter as she was on her way to donate her organs. The hallways were lined by the Sanford medical staff, along with friends and family members of Jupiter. Mr. Paulson, and there you see him right there. Why did you make the decision, and I'm delighted that you did, why did you make the decision to donate Jupiter's organs?
The reason why I decided to donate her organs was I knew she was going to be gone. They told me that she was brain dead, and I felt that, you know, I didn't want her legacy to end with her being brutally murdered, that maybe she can save some lives and give other families hope. And I know in my daughter's heart that, you know, if given that opportunity, she would say yes. So I approached the doctors and asked them if we could do that.
So you took a terrible tragedy and turned it into a positive. In essence, Jupiter saved the lives of other people, did she not?
Yes, sir, she did. She saved 4 people.
Well, that's extraordinary. Did you meet those people? Have you heard from those people, or does it not work
yet.
that way?
Not yet. You have to, you know, get the okay through LifeSource, and they would have to be okay with it through LifeSource, and then we would be able to communicate. I know what state, what organs, and what gender and age that the organs went to. You know, there's one in Nebraska, one in Illinois, and 2 in Minnesota, so they're not too far, you know. And if they ever wanted to meet me and the rest of the family and extended family, I mean, I'm okay with that as well. And I told LifeSource that, and so, you know, we're all on page with that. And they even, you know, I even donated her ovaries to do, you know, tested to see if they can preserve those for, you know, for their future research. You know, I wanted them to have the opportunity to see if maybe one day, you know, they'll be able to preserve that and put that into somebody who wants to have children, you know. So I was on board with pretty much everything that they could do. I mean, they couldn't take some certain things for medical purposes for it being a homicide, but they took everything that they could, and I'm happy knowing that 4 people have been saved.
This is such an impressive send-off where people were lining the hallways and just in respect and reverence. Were you as touched by this send-off as I was?
Yeah, I was nervous, you know, walking down that whole walk. I was happy that, you know, knowing that that's how much that they made an honor of it. You know, it was very honorable for her to get that type of a send-off. And, you know, and I thank the entire Sanford staff and LifeSource for you know, giving that to us.
All right, here you are. You're with your daughter.
Yes.
You're kissing her and talking to her. What did you say to her, and what were you thinking?
I told her that I loved her, and I'm sorry that I couldn't save her. And then I also told her that I will see her again, and I will get justice for what is done to her. And I'll so Valhalla, I would see her in the end.
I don't know how anybody can't be moved by that. I just feel so terrible for you and your daughter and your whole family. This is just so senseless, so heartbreaking. I just, it's almost, I'm sure it's surreal. I know, and my children are a little older, but of course at one time they were Jupiter's age. I would be devastated if this happened to my daughter. How do you deal with this grief?
Well, it's so unreal. Like, it's very hard. I wouldn't want this on anybody, even if it's my own enemy. I wouldn't want that on them. I take it one day at a time. I try to find things to do. You know, in my free time, like, I'll just walk around in stores just so I don't think about some of that, because I know the overall drive and push is worth more than just flashing out and doing something stupid. You know, I'm holding my military bearing as far as that standpoint, because I know there's nothing I can do to change that. So the only thing I can do is find a way to find some peace out of it. So I try to, you know, go out and I help people if they ask me to, or I'll, you know, I just try to stay busy, pick up overtime at work if I have to. I mean, if my other kids want to do stuff, we'll go do stuff. It's a huge punch in the chest, you know, or we could just say a good stab in the chest. I mean, however you want to put it, you know, I don't wish this on anybody. And that's why I feel that as long as I can conduct myself professionally and accordingly, that maybe the legislatures or somebody will reach out that we can make that change. And so I don't want to do anything dumb. I just work and go home.
So you try to be busy not to think of it, because otherwise it'll eat you up. Is that basically what you're saying?
It does eat me up. I mean, I have my breakdown moments, but I do it the way that I need to do it in order to get by. Because this is going to be a long, long, hard road, and I need to prepare myself for it, so I don't want to just fall apart too soon.
And your title, I mean, you know, it's, like I said, I don't know how I couldn't eat up anybody. Nobody expects to see their kids go before them, and they certainly don't expect to see their kids go this way. You don't just, I mean, this young girl of yours, she had such a bright, terrific future ahead of her, and then just gone. And I don't even know, how do you make sense of any of this, if there is a way to make sense of this?
You can't make sense with it. You have to take it one day at a time and hope that, you know, you don't ever get that call ever again. You know, it tends to leave me speechless at times, because I just, you know, it's huge in your chest. It's a very heavy weight, and, you know, I mean, throw in, you know, all the training in the world. You can't be prepared for this, so I just do it the best way that I can.
All right, I want to ask my last question. It's kind of an open-ended question, because I want to make sure we've captured the essence of what you want to get out there. Do you have any final thoughts or a final message to the viewers about the murder, the senseless murder of your daughter?
The only stuff I really have is, you know, I just have to, day by day, keep pushing for the change, so we don't tend to play Russian roulette with the next family members, you know. And the reason why I say it like that is the justice system needs to crack down, and the probation system definitely needs to crack down on the negligence of not doing their job. And if we could just start doing our job, then this type of stuff should go away. I mean, it has to. I mean, this town has been a really good community, and it's like, how do you let this slide? I mean, we have to find a way to overcome this, because, like I said, if we don't make that change, we're just playing Russian roulette with the next family. And hopefully this is the eye-opener that we change things.
Mr. Paulson, thanks so much for coming in. My deepest sympathy. I am so sorry for what happened to you, what happened to your daughter. I wish you Godspeed. God bless you. Good luck going forward, and keep speaking out. Thanks again for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me.
We will be back with longtime television news anchor Andrea Larson right after this break.
Hey everybody, I'm Doug Billings, your host of The Right Side with Doug Billings on Beck News. We bring you high-profile guests, ladies and gentlemen, exclusive guests. Now, you're not going to see these guests in most of the mainstream media outlets. Another thing that I do here is give guests a platform to speak freely. You're not going to see me censor anybody. Please join us, won't you? Weeknights right here on Beck TV and online at beck.news. Cheers.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream sheets. When you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Introducing the Cool Turtle, the ultra-comfortable mask enhancer that creates a protective, cool, and breathable space between your mask and your face. Simply slide under any mask or gaiter and immediately feel the refreshing pocket of air surrounding your face. Cool Turtle's ergonomically designed soft, comfortable shell immediately reduces mask friction, allowing you to breathe and talk in a comfortable environment.
I can actually breathe. With the Cool Turtle, no more sweating.
It's like I don't even have a mask on.
Call now and get not one, not two, but 3 Cool Turtles for just $10. Order now and we'll send you 2 more Cool Turtles free. No fees, absolutely free. Plus, you can get a 10-pack of 4-ply face masks. Just pay a separate fee. This offer is not available on Amazon. Get the real Cool Turtle now.
Call 1-800-270-1219. That's 1-800-270-1219. Or visit getcoolturtle.com. Order now.
Seniors, are you aware that you could pay less for your car insurance?
Seniors can save money on their car insurance.
You might save a little, you might save a lot.
Maybe hundreds of dollars a year.
You might save 5% a year, maybe 10%, 15%, or even more.
That's a lot of money. So call right now and find out just how much money you might be able to save.
1-800-699-0761. 1-800-699-0761.
Calling all farmers. Join us Friday, July 16th for Farmers Night at the Bismarck Bucks. The Bucks take on the Frisco Fighters with a 6:05 p.m. kickoff, and we'll highlight our friends at Farm Rescue. Please visit bismarckbucks.com.
My next guest is a good friend of mine and probably a familiar face to many of you, if not all of you. Well-known television news anchor and reporter. She has been a television journalist throughout the state of North Dakota. She worked in Bismarck, she worked in Minot, she worked in Fargo at Valley News Live twice, and she worked with me, such a delight, for 5 years when I was news director at KVRR-TV in Fargo. And now she has resigned to move on to other things, but it is a delight and a pleasure to welcome to the show Andrea Larson. Andrea, welcome.
Thank you so much. You know, I miss TV so badly that I had to go find a gig.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Well, you know, it is kind of an addiction. It's hard to get out of it, don't you think?
It is. And speaking of that, wonderful people were giving comments on Facebook and social media, whatever, when I left and even before I left. And Jerry Gilmore, I wrote this down to make sure that he's a former forum writer.
Sure.
And he wrote, journalism is like the Hotel California. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave.
You can't.
Right? That's pretty much it.
It is in my system, and
Yeah.
if I wasn't doing something in the media, I would go stir crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping, well, let's go there, and then I'll ask you why you resigned.
Okay.
Is this going to be easy or difficult for you to get out of the news biz?
I don't know, Jim. You keep asking me to be on radio and TV, and so far I have no withdrawal symptoms yet.
I know. I'll have to find more opportunities to interview you.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, you know, it was a hard decision to make, but yet easy in a lot of ways because it was time to clear out my evenings and spend time with my family because they need me in the evenings and I need them. So in that sense, it was easy, but yet, you know, leaving television, leaving a job you love after so many years, that's difficult. But I think I can funnel all this energy that I have and my voice and writing skills and all that into another job that has better hours. Yes. I mean, never say never.
Right.
I have no plans to go back, but, you know, never say never.
Well, you might miss it, and somebody might come to you and say, we need you badly. So was it the better hours? Because hours are terrible in television. Was it the better hours? You have a young son.
Yeah.
Was that the main reason you decided to resign?
It was. And if you ask my son, who is our son, who is 11, he'll say, wow, you know, Mom was on that night shift for at least 10 of my 11 years, you know, and even before that. And when you work shifts in television, I don't think people realize, but even when you're married, it's tough on your spouse. I remember working one day, many days, like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. because there'd be breaking news and you would have to stay, or you would end up going out of town on a story and you'd get back really late and still have to put all your stuff together for the evening shows. So, you know, it can take a toll, and it's yeah. You know the tough hours. It's such a pleasure, though. I mean, we get into it knowing that we're going to have some tough hours, tough pay also
Right.
when you start out.
Oh, brutal.
Brutal, right. And
as a news director, I was embarrassed at what I had to offer people.
I know.
And sometimes I lost people because of that. But some people wanted to do it so badly that they took it.
Yep.
And then they moved on and moved up in the field. Some of them moved to larger stations, so I was very happy to see people succeed and deal with the low pay and make good names for themselves.
It's the first thing they tell you at Brown College or Brown Institute, which is where I went after UND. When I moved to the cities, they say, okay, I hope you know what you're in for. Low pay, bad hours. They kind of drill it into you that this is not an easy gig.
Right. But, you know, it's an exciting gig. The days go by so fast.
Yes.
And every day is different. And I loved meeting people, interviewing people, writing about people. Did you feel the same way about this profession?
Yes. You meet so many interesting people, and everybody has, it sounds corny, but everybody has a story to tell, and everybody's interesting in their own right. And it is exciting to be on the cusp of breaking news, knowing what's going on all the time. And you feel like you know a little bit of, a professor once said that to me, you know a little bit about everything that's going on. And to some extent, if that's your beat, you know a lot about what's going on.
Right. I mean, and you, on a given day, you have to become an instant expert
Yes.
on something, which is part of the challenge and part of the appeal to me.
And take something and regurgitate it quickly, in case of like a court case or something, and then put it on air. Yeah.
So you have so many skills. You're obviously a very polished and talented communicator, a great writer.
Did we mention we're friends?
Very, very personable. So what do you plan or hope to do now that you have stepped away from television news?
Well, something related to communications, public relations, marketing. I've got some of that in my background before I even entered TV, because I entered TV, it wasn't my first stop. And so I'm going to funnel all of that, all of this, our abilities that they're so unique to television, to TV people, radio people, and funnel that into a new career. And I've had some wonderful people reaching out, and for that I'm so grateful. Saying,
well, if somebody doesn't grab you quickly, they're nuts. I mean, all you bring to the table.
Thank you.
I can't imagine if Andrea Larson is my candidate that I'm not offering her a job, because who would come with the breadth of experience you have? Plus, it helps any company that if they have you and you're dealing with whatever,
yeah,
people know you because they've seen you. And so you're like a member of the family, even though you've never met them personally.
I would hope that would be a selling point, yes, to have that reassurance that, I'm coming to you from, whatever chaos is going on, and I'm telling the truth, and I'm, representing that company in the best light possible.
Let's talk about the field that we both have been in for most of our lives. I think it's changed, but I want to get your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Has television news changed in North Dakota since you first started, and if so, how?
Oh, well, it has. It used to be a very tough market to get into, in that sense that there were long-time reporters and anchors here, and nobody was leaving. I mean, it was tough to crack it, get your foot in the door. But also, I think there's that need for instant news. We are constantly looking at our phone. I mean, regretfully, forget about opening the newspaper, even though I love the newspaper, and I love having coffee with the newspaper, but people are looking at their phone for news, or tuning into the radio, and even TV. It's still solid, but it's very much social media, where you go, you turn for lots of things, apps, pull everything up on your phone, take it with you.
Right, it's true. It used to be that when you watched a television newscast at 6 or 10 or whatever, this was the first time that you had heard this story and seen the people involved. And now, because of so many things else out there, social media and your websites and Facebook pages, it's nonstop. It's absolutely nonstop. Speaking of nonstop, we do have to stop. We have to stop to take a quick break so we can pay for the show. So we will do that now. We will take a short commercial break and then be right back with former television news anchor Andrea Larson right after this.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow, and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors. Use your promo code, and for a limited time, when you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. This drug remains approved by the FDA. If you or a loved one regularly took Zantac and were later diagnosed with cancer, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Potential cancers include bladder cancer, colon cancer, kidney cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting with your doctor. Discontinuing a prescribed medication without your doctor's advice can result in injury or death.
Call 1-800-230-9210.
Seniors, are you aware that you could pay less for your car insurance?
Seniors can save money on their car insurance.
You might save a little, you might save a lot.
maybe hundreds of dollars a year.
You might save 5% a year, maybe 10%, 15%, or even more.
That's a lot of money. So call right now and find out just how much money you might be able to save.
1-800-699-0761. 1-800-699-0761.
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty.
You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more.
Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
1-800-219-1467.
Go for Launch 2018 series winner. Without further ado, it is my honors. Reginae. The winning team is the Flumin River Excellent.
Oh my God!
They won!
Welcome back. We're here talking to Andrea Larson, longtime television news journalist throughout the state of North Dakota, a good friend and a tremendously talented journalist. And I'm sorry to say that she has resigned from her job because she was so good and she was such a delight to watch. But Andrea, thanks so much for being with us today. So as you look back at your career, do you have any favorite memories?
Oh my gosh, there are so many. And mainly because of the people that you work with. They're just, you know, you're surrounded by talent. Whether it's a videographer or a producer or a news director or, you know, the fellow writers, they're all so amazing. So those are good memories in itself, the people that you're around. But yeah, I've had some fun stories. Being on an aircraft carrier in the Atlantic after 9/11, the USS George Washington, a photographer and I flew out there to follow sailors and get their stories after 9/11. So that was interesting. I remember being on the tarmac at the time, and one of the guys who was showing us around said, "Now you have to be very careful because there can be nothing on this tarmac. All of our crew are here making sure nothing is able to suck into the engines and stop these planes." And as he's saying it, I looked down and said, "You mean like that?" It was a pin on the tarmac. I know. And he's like, yeah, that's exactly it. It had fallen off somebody's lapel, and
wow.
And yeah, but that was super interesting. All those sailors on a ship, going to Cuba with then Ag Commissioner Roger Johnson and his crew. To find out about peas and lentils, North Dakota, you know, buying peas and lentils from these other countries, or rather, sorry, excuse me, just the opposite, Cuba buying those products from us, and seeing how everything operates there and the rationing, and it was really, you know, sad and disturbing. You know, the ration of, was it 8 eggs per person per month, you know, to the families who were living there, sad conditions. And also Guatemala. I followed a group there going to build homes for people in Guatemala for the God's Child Project. So that was, I mean, all these eye-opening stories that you don't get to see usually if you're...
And I've seen those stories, and they were really, really good.
Oh, thank you.
So
thank you.
What a great experience that you had, and be able to write about that. Well, let's flip it. What about any least favorite memories you might have had from your career?
Well, you know, it's always startling, as I'm sure you know. I remember the first time I saw somebody being, it was an accident, you're called, you're like, okay, you know, Larson, you go, photographer, you go. And you see somebody being cut out of a vehicle using the jaws of life. And I remember the first time I saw that, and I felt like I was, you know, I could throw up right there, because it's a human life, and then sadly, you get a little, You see it so much. I'm sure first responders see it all the time. Police officers, firefighters, rescue crews. You don't become hardened to it, but yet it's part of your job, and you have to get beyond it and do your job.
I know the feeling.
Yes.
And I've covered many tragedies in my life, murders and accidents and fires and loss of life. And we just had Robert Paulson on.
Right.
And you get used to it, but it's still gut-wrenching. It still gets to you. You wouldn't be human if it didn't get to you. And I don't miss being out on the street covering these crimes and disasters that came out of nowhere.
Yeah. You just, you kind of just take a couple of breaths, deal with the job that you have at hand, and take care of your emotions later, sadly. But that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, on the positive, the great thing about this life is you meet like the people on the highest rungs of the ladder and the lowest rungs on the ladder and everybody in between. I have a column, here's my shameless self-promotion, I have a column coming out on Saturday in the Forum about how I met Neil Diamond. And that is a wonderful, lasting memory for me. And I've interviewed presidents, and I've interviewed people who are desperate for a job and are down on their luck and are homeless. But it's all part of the human existence. And I don't know any other job where you have that kind of experience.
I know. And someone once said to me, don't be nervous. They put their pants on. It's that quote, they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like you. Don't be intimidated by, meeting all these lawmakers or whoever. In some cases, the president when they come to town for a flood meeting or whatever. I mean, you just have to treat them kindly, hope they treat you the same back, get your job done, ask the questions that you need to ask, make everybody accountable in some cases because they're tough stories, and and have fun at it. And it really is a fun job, wouldn't you say?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else that would get my juices flowing like this.
I know.
I want to talk about how I ended up hiring you when we ended up working together for 5 years, because this is the mindset of a news director. I'm running a whole news station here, but you're always thinking, okay, if this person leaves, what's my next move? Because you never know what's going to happen. So sure enough, we had a really good thing going, and my female anchor was Nicole Phillips, who was terrific. She actually used to be an anchor in Milwaukee, and now she's made a niche for herself writing about kindness. So she's doing great. And then her husband, Saul, is named the head basketball coach at North Dakota State University. Nicole has 3 small children, and now Saul is going to make a lot more money, and he's going to be a lot busier. And I'm thinking, I wonder how this is going to play out. And sure enough, a few days later, she comes in to my office and says she's resigning. And all I could say was, well, thank you for a job well done, and I wish you well. I had no ill feelings. I completely understood it. And as soon as she left my office, I contacted you.
You did.
Just to see if you might be interested. And fortunately, the timing was right. You might not have been available, or you might not have been interested, or you might have had a contractual obligation, but you came over, and I was just thrilled. So we were together for 5 years.
Yes.
Here is the loaded question that you can't possibly get wrong.
No.
So how did you like working with me and Austin Schauer and Kip Hines and the whole news crew over at KVRR?
It was so great. I mean, it really was. And I felt like at that time we had an owner at my previous station, and there was a little bit of intimidation, as far as how they were treating people and just some other things behind the scenes. And I came over there and I felt so free. It was just be yourself, be good at it, and under great direction, I think we were. We had some great awards during that time.
We did.
And it was
Best newscast.
Yes, and it was just a great place to work, and I felt so free. And then I think I became better. I know I did at Fox, because I let all those worries I let go of them, and just we meshed.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when you don't have management coming down, breathing down your throat,
right,
and you've got good management, there's a world of difference.
Right. And fortunately, they let me put on the news as I see fit.
Yes.
As I saw fit. They respected me. So they didn't get involved in, we need to cover this and don't cover that. They let me, and it wasn't just me, it was you and the other veterans. Well, we would all put together, said, what do you think about this story? What do you think about that? Then we talk about, okay, let's lead with this. Let's put this here. Let's run this on the newscast. But they let me all do it. So as we're wrapping up here, give us a sense, what lies ahead for Andrea Larson, and how is life different for you now that you're not going into the office every day?
Oh my gosh. Wow, I'm getting a little bit more sleep. I'm getting more exercise. We're having like family meals at home. I mean, it's so nice, as opposed to, you know, when you get off the set at 6:30, you get home around 6:45 or so, if things are all going right, you know, no breaking news or anything, and you rush in and maybe your family's already eaten because it is 6:45, and that's the way it is. But now these meals are together. That's so nice. But also I have a lot of people, I'm reconnecting with everybody, which is really awesome. I mean, I think I've had more coffee dates in the last 3 weeks than I've had in a year.
Sorry to interrupt you. You got about 20 seconds to finish this answer.
That's
Go
okay.
ahead.
It's just, it's amazing. Things are really, really amazing right now. Yeah, and I expect they'll get even better.
Well, Andrea, it's a pleasure to see you again. I know whatever you do, the person or people who hire you are going to be very lucky. You will succeed.
Thank you.
Missing you on TV, the viewer's loss is going to be some new employer's gain. So all the best to you, and thanks so much for coming in.
How about a coffee date?
Okay.
No, thanks for having me, Jim.
You got it. We'll be back to wrap up the show right after this break.
Do you worry about going to the dentist? After all, a visit to the dentist can easily cost $2,000 or more. Well, relax. The Carefree Dental Card is now available in your area. Call now and we'll send your actual card at no cost today. With the Carefree Dental Card, you go to the dentist whenever you need and you instantly pay a lot less. Activate your card and you can start using it immediately. From exams and cleanings to more expensive procedures like crowns, dentures, even braces, they're all included with the Carefree Dental Card. Say you go to the dentist today without any card and your bill is, well, ouch. Wait a minute, let's try that again. You go to the dentist today and show your Carefree Dental Card, you save $525. The Carefree Dental Card is just $15.95 a month, so call now and make going to the dentist carefree.
Call 1-800-416-5739 to receive your Carefree Dental Card information kit. 1-800-416-5739. Call now.
I can't say enough good things about these nano hearing aids.
Real people talking about nano hearing aids.
The hearing quality is great.
Until now, hearing aids used to be too expensive for the average person. Until Nano. Call now and you'll get your Nano hearing aids for only $297. You'll save $100. When you buy one hearing aid, Nano will give you a second hearing aid free. Call right now.
1-800-213-3815.
Spas, etc. Yeah.
You've come to know and trust us for over 18 years with the largest selection and showroom in Western North Dakota for our beautiful Sundance spas. Plus, you can pick out your next home experience with our selection of pool tables, shuffleboards, and fun accessories.
Spas, etc. Your relaxation destination on Main and Bismarck.
Calling all farmers. Join us Friday, July 16th for Farmers Night at the Bismarck Bucks. The Bucks take on the Frisco Fighters with a 6:05 p.m. kickoff, and we'll highlight our friends at Farm Rescue as we help raise money to support our farmers around the region. For more information on tickets, please visit bismarckbucks.com. Get your free general admission tickets today.
Attention! Have you or a loved one suffered from maculopathy, a serious retinal injury, after taking the prescription drug Elmiron for interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome? In 2018, a researcher at the Emory School of Medicine linked Elmiron, a prescription drug that treats interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome, to maculopathy, which is sight-threatening and can cause an abrupt change of vision. Call Elmiron Justice for a free legal consultation.
Please call 800-395-5680.
We are back with our final segment of Down the Road with Joel. Jim Shaw, your guest host today. Glad to be with you. I'm a columnist for Forum Communications, longtime television news broadcaster. And with me now, as we always end the show, is our lovely and talented production assistant, Jackie Shaw, who just happens to be my wife. So, Jackie, what did you think of our good friend Andrea with what she had to say?
Well, before I get to the marvelous Andrea Larson, I want to say what a great show this was. With your interview of Robert Paulson was just fantastic, and sharing his story of his amazing daughter and this unspeakable tragedy that's happened. This was a marvelous interview. So, mwah.
Oh, well, the credit is to him. For him to be able to come in and talk about this. Mm-hmm. I mean, we have 3 kids. I don't know if I could do what he just did. I don't know if you could do what he just did.
Well, I was crying while he was talking, so that was rough just to listen to everything. Now let's get on to the other half of your great show was Andrea Larson. And, you know, we've known each other, married, of course, but we've known each other for 36 years. So I've seen, in those years, you've been in television news like all those years. So I've seen many, many anchors and got to know many anchors that you've worked with. And Andrea Larson is the top. She's the top. So there's no other way to describe her but her professionalism and her charisma and the spark and the joy she brings to the news. But she's also a journalist. And so many people, as you know, go into television just to be on television. But not Andrea she's just the total package. So whatever she does next, any employer is so fortunate.
Thank you. Great answer. We are out of time. Joel will be back tomorrow. I will be back on Thursday of next week. Thank you all for watching. Until then, bye-bye, everybody.